I think we've all seen just about enough as we can handle of the Maryland father. First, he was a Maryland father that was stripped away from his family. Then, okay, wait, well, he's an illegal, and then okay, wait, well, he's also a gang member. Oh, it actually turns out that he might have beaten his wife according to court documents. Oh, wait, he was pulled over human trafficking. Yet another thing came out about the Maryland father that Democrats are so eager to defend and go down and pay homage to, as the senator from Maryland did. Let's bring our panel back so we can listen to this audio. So we all probably heard the story that the wife or just baby mama, I'm not even sure if they're legally married, of the Maryland father filed a court complaint that's, well, he was domestically abusing her, which again is terrible. Nobody's trying to make light of that or belittle that in any way, shape, or form. But now there's audio that, well, backs up the already written statements that we've already seen. Let's listen to this and get your guys' reaction.
I came to fill out a protective order. I think it was in December. But I didn't show up to the court because his family washed my brain telling me that his dad was sick and not to do it. I would call the police. I have a lot of police reports. And I kept trying to get to the door basement to try to open the door, and then he pushed me. So then when I was able to go outside to get a phone, I called 911 from a disconnected phone. So I saw a neighbor walking his dog, and I opened the door and I was like, help. And then when he heard me, he grabbed me from my hair and then he slapped me. And then the neighbor, he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to react. I have pictures of the evidence, all the bruises, because it's not, even on Wednesday, he hit me around 3 in the morning. He would just wake up and hit me. And then last Saturday for my daughter's birthday party, before I went to my daughter's birthday party, he slapped me 3 times. And then last week I did call the police. My sister called the police because he hit me in front of my sister.
Holy cow! That's honestly kind of difficult to listen to. Natalie, I my question then, after hearing that, even though we already knew we had the writing samples for or the actual court filing that she listed, it makes it worse somehow. Why was this guy even still in the country? That's what I'm now asking. Is holy cow! It feels like there was enough evidence to boot this guy out a long time ago. What was going on there?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. The coverage on this has been crazy. I was just on college campuses this week with Walkaway, and so many of the kids there think that this guy is a U.S. citizen who was deported. And now we have all of this information coming out. I mean, did you see the body cam footage that came out of Tennessee in the last couple of days when he was pulled over in 2022? And right there on the camera, one of the law enforcement officers says he's hauling people for money. And then apparently they called the FBI under Joe Biden, and the FBI said, don't detain this guy. So then they just released this guy who they knew was trafficking. And now we come to find out that he's also an abuser. And you said it in the beginning that Democrats have kind of shifted their message away from Maryland dad. And now, oh, it's not about him, it's about due process, because I think it's a point of pride. They know that they're too far into this. They can't back out now, and they just choose the worst people to be their heroes.
Yeah, I can't get through my head what is going on that side. Unless, of course, it's this. Actually, a lot of people don't know this, Chris. In deep buried in Article 8 of the Constitution, the founding fathers said that the craziest people among us have to defend illegal gang-banging, wife-beating domestic traffickers. Of course, it doesn't.
I missed that part.
Almost got through that without laughing. But yeah, they don't have to defend them, Chris. What is, if there's a message to libs, I would say you don't. There's no requirement that you have to defend this guy. Why are they continuing to do it?
I don't know, man. It's the insanity of the left, and I guess it just goes back to Trump derangement syndrome and orange man bad. But part of me looks at the wife and I go, "What are you doing?" And I tried to think about this last night, and I'm thinking, she doesn't want to give up that give, send, go, man. She's raising too much money off the back of this Maryland man that we all know is a gang member. We all know he's a spousal abuser, human trafficker. You were talking about the body cam footage. It was hard to understand what he was saying underneath that thick Maryland accent. But when you got to the police, you could understand what they were saying because they had the Tennessee accent, so it was a little bit easier for me being in Tennessee. But the police said they're hauling ass. These guys are ass haulers. They're making money trafficking humans. And this is who the left defends. I don't want to interrupt the left. I don't want to interrupt our enemies while they're making a mistake. But you would think that they would have some little bit, at least in the back of their mind, just iota of knowing this is probably a bad idea.
Yeah, it's hard to stop your enemies when they're punching themselves in the face, but at the same time, it's very difficult to watch.